Benjamin Netanyahu told me last night he is close to a ceasefire in Gaza, but he stopped short of agreeing to new demands from Hamas. He also told me to expect more countries to join the Abraham Accords. Here's my exclusive with the Prime Minister. Mr. Prime Minister, thank you so much for sitting down with us.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to see you again.
Congratulations on winning this 12-day war and defeat.
Bruh, they did not win this 12-day war. This was an L for both Israel and the United States. But that's fine. If they want to go ahead and take it as a W, they can, but it definitely wasn't.
Military.
Well, it was a joint effort, and I couldn't have had a greater partner, a great leader of the free world, the greatest friend Israel has ever had in the White House. President Trump has been amazing in our partnership, both our personal partnership.
And that is why the ADL is for crying about Shylock, like I talked about at the top of the show. But yeah. Guys, smash that like button, by the way. We're 300 away from 2,000, but we got almost 4,000 ninjas in here just on YouTube alone. So smash that goddamn like button.
Partnership, and the partnership between Israel and America facilitated the strength of this victory and the fruits that we can garner from it.
I want to ask you about that. I want to talk more about the Iran process, how this all played out. But let me start with one of the reasons that you're here. And you have been meeting with President Trump about a potential ceasefire with Hamas. Where does that stand? Will you agree to some of these new recent demands of Hamas?
Well, look, we are talking about a 60-day ceasefire in which half the live hostages and half of the deceased hostages.
And just so you guys know, they had a ceasefire before set up where it would completely end the conflict, but Israel didn't want to agree to that. They only agreed to the first phase of the ceasefire, which pretty much ended, I think, in like March. And then after that, there's been like a 90-day blockade. Okay. So yeah, they already had a ceasefire in place that would have basically been able to fix a lot of these problems.
Hostages would be returned to Israel by these Hamas monsters, you know. And yes, I think we're getting closer to a deal. I think there's a good chance that we'll have it. And that's very good because we've already released, you know, they took 255 innocent people hostage, these criminals.
And you had the chance to get them back on October 10th, and you didn't.
Keeping them in
You wanted to go to war instead.
These dungeons, underground dungeons in horrible conditions. On the first day of the war, a very senior defense official said in Israel, you know, you have to get used to the idea that you're not going to even see one of them alive. And I said, no, I don't believe that. I think the combination of military pressure and political pressure will get them out. So far, we got 205 out. 205 and 148 alive. Now we have 20 alive left and 30.
And again, Shah, I want to make this very clear. The mainstream media will never tell you all this. They could have got all the hostages back alive on or about October 10th. But guess what? They didn't want to do that because Netanyahu wanted to bomb the fuck out of Gaza. There was a deal put in place to have all the hostages released on or about October 10th, 3 days after the attack, in exchange for Israel not invading Gaza. And they said, no, we're invading, and we're going to fucking bomb you guys to hell. And that's what ended up happening. But all those hostages could have came back.
30 deceased.
Needlessly died.
If we can get half of them now, let's do it. But I'm committed to getting all of them out.
Not true. You're committed to staying in power and ensuring that you don't go to prison for fucking bribery and corruption.
And getting Hamas out of the picture, too, because we're not going to keep these.
And fun little fact for you guys. Axios reports Netanyahu chats with the pro-Trump Nelk boys. Oh, man. I go, wow. Nick said, bro. Dude, man. I mean, but bro, you know what? I'm not that surprised because, look at this. This is them at the wall. Bro. Come on, man. Come on, man. And Salim, bro. Like, Salim, you're a Muslim, bro. This is fucking terrible, man. Like, come on, man. Anyway. Big fucking L there, bro.
Bombakat!
You know.
hanging out with Netanyahu, the Nelk boys, man. Full send.
It's like keeping the Nazi SS. They're actually as bad, in some cases worse than the Nazis. They're not going to be there. So we get our hostages out. We're going to take out Hamas, and we're going to make sure that Gaza no longer poses a threat to Israel or to anyone else.
So would you be poised to agree to some of those demands, such as the UN back in charge of humanitarian food distribution?
Well, among them, but we have our own distribution system that has been established to prevent Hamas from stealing the food that is supposed to go to the population. They steal it, they take it for themselves, and the remainder they hike the prices and basically extort the Palestinian population in order to use it to continue recruiting people to their war machine, so their terror machine. So obviously, we don't want to give up the thing that we began with, which is distribution that goes directly to the people. It doesn't go through the Hamas, the Hamas pillage. I think it'll probably end.
That's a tactic that they use to, delay. Oh, we can't give them aid because Hamas is going to steal it. Oh.
For the 60 days with both.
When they bombed the hospitals, oh, Hamas was there. And they kill like hundreds of kids. Oh, yeah, Hamas was there. Bro, that's their excuse for everything.
What about the idea that you will be able to and have the authority to reattack should they break the 60-day ceasefire?
That's obvious. I mean, that's obvious. I mean, we have.
All Israel does is break ceasefires. You guys already know this. They attacked Lebanon a couple days ago, and they're bombing the Houthis. We know that.
The right of self-defense at any time. And I think.
And, just so you guys know, this is what Israelis do. They consider preemptive attacks as self-defense. They will attack first and then say, oh, it's self-defense, bro.
That's widely recognized. I think on these matters, which I always prefer to negotiate not in front of a camera, I think.
We know why you don't want to do it in front of a camera.
There's a good chance we'll have this ceasefire. And that'll get us closer to the goal that I set from the beginning. Let's get them all back without capitulation.
You have been.
Okay, he told you guys a nugget of truth there, without capitulation. What he should have said was, we will not capitulate whatsoever at all, which means we will let them die if they need to, because we're not going to capitulate on what? Taking over Gaza and occupying it, because that is more of a strategic importance than the hostages. Guys, understand that the hostages are nothing more than a political pawn in the greater game of diplomacy or feigned diplomacy that your boy Netanyahu is trying to institute with Hamas.
Extraordinary in terms of being effective in rooting out your enemies and the evil of the world. How much more is there to do?
And just so you know, the only reason that he's even agreeing to do this interview is because Fox News is super pro-Zionist. She's a Zionist. Is she one of them boys, chat? What's her name? Mornings with Maria. What's her name, chat, again? I forget her name.
Well, I think we've done a lot because we've broken the Iran axis. It had this monolithic, very threatening control over the Middle East. Iran was seen as a Goliath. You can't possibly challenge it. They had thousands of ballistic missiles. They had their terror.
It's funny that he won't admit? The Israelis actually made Iran stronger. You want to know why? Because they took out Saddam. By taking out Saddam Hussein, it allowed Iran to grow stronger and create more influence in the region.
Falcon punch!
But he'll never admit that, though. Because we went to war in Iraq. Make no mistake about it, guys. We went to war in Iraq for Israel. And just so you guys know, I told you guys this before, but Scott Horton confirmed it. Israel gets a significant amount of its oil from where? Iraq. So not only did we spend a whole bunch of money and take a bunch of L's with the Iraq war, who benefited? Israel now gets their oil for cheap because they get it from Iraq. And I've been telling you guys this for what, like a year or two now at this point? Scott Horton confirmed on the Tucker Carlson fucking podcast. Hey, how's that audio? It's impeccable today, isn't it, motherfuckers? Huh? I've been watching those meters like a fucking hawk. So, anyway, hope you guys are enjoying the show.
Machine.
No more audio issues, niggas.
Subjugating not only the great people of Iran, but subjugating everybody else inside. They took.
Oh, her husband is one of them boys? Man, I didn't spend enough time looking. Let me see here. Who's her husband? Relative Saul Steinberg, father-in-law? Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, now it's making sense. Her father-in-law is Saul Steinberg. We know what that means. So this is probably, yeah, this is her husband's father right here. Who's her husband, though, chat? Trying to find her husband here. She was born in 1967? God damn, she's old, bro. What the hell? Okay, Jonathan Steinberg. Yeah, bro. Yo. Yeah, holy. Okay. There's a Jonathan S. Tyler, producer known for his work at shows like, okay. Okay, there he is. This has got to be him right here. CEO of Wisdom Tree Investments. Yeah, bro. Come on, man. Come on. We already know what time that means. And there he is right there. Yep. Okay. Now you know why she's pro-Israel. Makes perfect sense. Thank you, Chad, for bringing that to my attention.
Took over Iraq. They took over Syria. They took over Lebanon with Hezbollah. They took over Gaza with Hamas.
Nussi, you said you donated 10, joined OSS, still can't. If you join OSS, bro, you should be able to unlock and go in the chat. Refresh your page, bro. You should be able to join it.
They took over.
You got to be logged into locals, though.
The mouth of the Red Sea with the Houthis and the Yemen, you know, they were invincible. And we broke them. We broke them first with the indomitable courage of our brave soldiers, with the decisions that we made that were tough, and with the spirit of the Israeli people that was, you know, they demanded and got the victory that we delivered. But it wasn't obvious, you know, when you make a decision like that. You know, we first peeled off Hezbollah. That led to the collapse of the Assad regime, and that led to the collapse of the Iranian axis. So I think it's a different Middle East. But after the 12-day war, it's an entirely different Middle East, because not only did we act there and achieve supremacy over the skies of Tehran, nobody believed that would happen, destroyed the top leadership, the top military leadership, and these you know, evil scientists that were working to develop nuclear bombs to annihilate the Jewish state. Not only did we achieve that, but President Trump came in and did something that no American president did now. He just threw away all the warnings, you know, this is going to start World War III, you're going to have boots on the ground, thousands of Americans will be killed. No, he just applied judiciously, you know, and with great precision, these brave American pilots that showed incredible perseverance and persistence and power.
And I watched it earlier. We don't got to watch it now, but Netanyahu met with Pete Hegseth, as you guys know, Secretary of Defense, earlier today. And they basically just like circle jerked each other, talking about how great their alliance was between the Israeli Air Force and the American Air Force, obviously finishing the job with the B-2 bombers on the Operation Midnight that they ran on the nuclear facilities.
And projected American power right at, you know, like hitting a nail on the head. And that helped end the war with a great joint victory. And I think this combination is just a winning combination.
I've told you guys this before, but I'm going to say it again, bro. Israel and America lost this war, okay? I've explained it before. If you guys want me to explain it again, give me ones in the chat. I don't want to sound like a broken fucking record here. Slat says, what happened to the flute version of Having a Gila? I don't use it because it's copyrighted. That's why I don't use it. The flute version. I know it's funny and shit like that, but yeah.
And I just say this.
But yeah, it was an L, guys. It was absolutely an L, this conflict for Israel and the United States. This was not a W whatsoever. And it's funny to me that Netanyahu and Trump think it's a W.
President Trump and I have a doctrine. It's called peace through strength. Well, first comes the strength, then comes the peace.
Okay, peace through strength. You guys already know what that means. That is the magic word. Anytime you guys hear peace through strength, that is neocon talk. Neocon talk. That means, oh, we're going to attack you niggas and start wars, and then you guys are going to be forced to make peace with us when you're crippled. That is what peace through strength means. It is a dead giveaway for neocon talk.
And we showed a lot of strength, and I think we have a lot of fruits of peace to reap. We could expand the Abraham Accords. We can create a reality in the Middle East that is unimaginable. And it's going to give prosperity and stability, possibilities that have never been available in the last 100 years and more.
On Monday, you told President Trump that you nominated him for the Nobel Peace Prize,
Right.
that you sent a letter to the...
Bro, that is hilarious. Netanyahu proposing you for the Nobel Peace Prize is like letting up
Redacted.
your fucking kids. Like, that is, the irony is insane. Just so you guys know, let me hit you guys with some numbers. Harvard has established that roughly 337,000 people have been killed and or are missing in Gaza right now. We know 50,000 been killed, but there's 337 plus thousand that are missing. Guys, remember, Gaza had like 2.3 million before they started attacking in October, before Israel started bombing them. He's literally, he got charged by the ICC, International Criminal Court, for war crimes. Okay? For the starving of people, all this shit. Benjamin Netanyahu. So for him to propose Donald Trump for a Nobel Peace Prize, that's literally like a fucking convicted sex offender proposing you as like babysitter of the year. I don't fucking know. Like, it makes no sense, bro. He is the worst person by far to advocate for anyone to get a Nobel Peace Prize. I would argue him nominating you for a Nobel Peace Prize actually hurts your chances of winning. Incredible. In-fucking credible. 337,000 people, guys, gone because of this guy.
The Nobel Prize Committee. Have you heard back? Can you tell us more?
Well, I don't know if the letter reached them, but they now know it's en route. And the reason I said that is, first of all, because he already deserves it. He helped broker the historic Abraham Accords in which Israel made peace with 4 Arab states. We worked on this.
Yeah, that Abraham Accords started the fucking clock to the war, chat. I'm gonna have to do a fucking monologue to explain this shit to y'all niggas. Bro, the Abraham Accords was the beginning of the end.
Together, secretly for 3 years, and wham, in 1 month, we made 4 peace treaties, which is by itself should have given him the Nobel Prize already. But he's not stopping. I mean, he made peace between Rwanda and the Congo. That was a bloody conflict, and he just made that peace. He helped make the peace now between India and Pakistan. That could have been, what can I tell you?
Well, that one ended because they both have nuclear weapons. They didn't want to destroy each other, so they needed a fucking arbiter to come in the middle.
A global confrontation.
And then Congo and Rwanda, all right, cool, fair. But that kind of had already died down.
And he's working now on peace on other fronts. And
the real wars that matter are Russia, Ukraine, and then you niggas in the Middle East reeling you guys in.
We're working together on exploiting the victory to make a lot of peace treaties in the Middle East. So if anyone deserves a Nobel Peace Prize, it's President Trump. And it's high time that he was given the accord that he deserves and that peace deserves. This is a real peace, Nobel Peace Prize, a real one, not a fake one, and a great one.
President Trump.
Damn, okay, I see a lot of you guys saying explain the Abraham Accords. All right. I keep forgetting, man, that we got a lot of new fucking viewers that watch this stuff. So, okay, give me a second. I'm gonna drink a little bit of water and we'll go into it. Because I you know, it's a blessing because we got a lot of new viewers that come in that you guys just don't know this shit because, like, let's be honest, a lot of political commentators don't cover foreign policy, and they don't, and most importantly, they don't cover foreign policy with a base lens. They'll tell you some bullshit like Ben Shapiro will tell you. So, all right, we'll cover it here in a second. Do me a favor. You know what? I'll go ahead and cover it. Let's get to fucking 2,000 likes. All right? Because it's you YouTube niggas that are the ones that are asking. My loyals on OSS and Rumble, y'all get it, but I know a lot of you guys want it. Fine. Get me to 2,000, 2,100 likes, and we'll fucking do it.
Trump told me that he does not believe.
We'll cover the Abraham Accords, and we'll also explain the other shit that I was going to talk to you guys about, why Israel lost this war.
That the Iranian regime moved any enriched uranium before the U.S. struck those 3 facilities. Do you agree with that? Do you believe that Iran has hidden any enriched uranium?
Well, we think we know where it is. It's sort of buried underground. And we don't have contrary information. That's our intelligence, too. But I think, you know, it's like we had 2 lumps of cancer. You know, one was that could kill you. One was the nuclear cancer, and they were rushing to weaponize their enriched uranium. You know, when they did that, after we crushed Hezbollah and after we got rid of Nasrallah, they were, you know, the Iranian axis in the Middle East was broken. So what did they have left? Well, they rushed to nuclear weapons and to that was one cancerous growth that could have killed us.
How close were they to the bomb?
I think within a year they would have had.
Within a year?
Within a year, probably more than 1 bomb. So that would have been, and they.
Mind you, he's been saying that they're going to have a bomb for 30 years, chat. He's been saying it for 30 years.
Say openly, death to Israel, death to America. They, you know, unlike other nuclear powers, they could probably throw that weapon at us, and that's the end of Israel and the end of Jewish history. That's not going to happen. We couldn't allow it. But the other lump of cancer that we had was ballistic missiles. They were going to develop, they were going to have a manufacturing capability of 300 ballistic missiles a month. That's within 5 years, they would have had 20,000. And if we didn't destroy their manufacturing capability, that's worth like 2 atom bombs on a country the size of New Jersey, Israel. So we had to act. If we didn't act, we die. You take out the cancer. That doesn't mean it couldn't come back. It's clear that if you don't take out the cancer, you're going to die. So we had no choice, and we acted with great force and great surprise and great success, and with President Trump's help and these brave pilots, American pilots.
So what is your expectation of Iran's nuclear capability today?
I don't think they have it, but I think they might try to resurrect it. And in order to achieve the full fruits of victory, we have to make sure that they don't have the capacity to rebuild. And the one thing that we didn't deal with, and we knew we didn't deal with, was the enriched uranium. So they have to be, it has to be made clear to them, and I think it has been.
All right, guys, we're at 1986. We got, what, 3,700, 3,800 you guys in here? Smash that fucking like button, guys, so we can go ahead and get this thing cooking. 2,100, guys.
That they don't get this.
If you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button, bro.
Enriched uranium. Mind you, enriched uranium is not enough to make atomic bombs, okay? It's a necessary component, but it's not sufficient. So we want that necessary component to be under control, too, and I think the Iranians understand that what the U.S. and Israel did once, we could do twice and thrice.
I mean, why should we trust that they would not start up again?
Because they're afraid. Because they know, they felt the might of America, the might of Israel, and the combined might of Israel and America.
And that is precisely why you guys lost. And we're going to talk about that here in a second. So, all right, let me read these chats, and then we're going to go ahead and I'll explain this to you guys. Okay. Bought yearly today from Open-Minded Ascari. Thank you so much, bro. I appreciate you greatly. Freology says, I can't switch to OSS on my local CV app. Should say something to Chris. Okay, I'll ask. On PBD's live stream today, he had the CIA whistleblower on, and he discussed Israel's attempts to wiretap the CIA and recruit CIA. Can you react? The timestamp is 118, okay? I don't know if we'll have time, but yeah, I'll see. Imagine Fresher Chris being the Speaker of the House. Let's get started. That's funny, bro. Riva971 says, hi, Myron, me again from France. I noticed that not only in the U.S., but also here in France, the left and right are starting to acknowledge the Israeli issue. But the far-right tradcons in France are so fucking lame for Israel regarding the Gaza situation, exactly like the tradcons are in the U.S. How is it that our countries are this far apart but remains very similar regarding Israel? I'll tell you why, because they control the higher echelons of different areas in different countries, bro. I'm telling you, man. That's how they lobby, baby. They lobby. They stick together. Hey, Myron, Google Maps updated shows that the destruction of Gaza. Here are the coordinates. I thought the videos were AI after you talked about the IDF soldier and him saying to bomb these neighborhoods. Yeah, bro, they're leveling the place. Late to the stream, Myron WOSS, thank you. I just saw the 9-hour stream when you went off on the monkeys. You know it, bro. I'm Frieza. Yahoo giving Noble the prize is like if I heard her giving Yahoo the no. Okay, bro. You got to double check your shit. How would you solve the Palestine and Israel situation without defunding Israel? You would have to do it, bro. You'd have to defund them because the only reason why they behave the way that they do is because they don't have to make peace, bro. Hey, Myron, the Congo versus Rwanda peace war is bullshit. That region needs instability so that minerals, uranium, and rare earth elements can be smuggled at low cost to the West. The only reason Trump got in is because they signed a mineral deal with the DRC and DRC and the DRC Gov wanted peace to get back in the mineral robbing business. Okay, that makes sense. Wouldn't be surprised. Okay,